Have you ever played a guitar that was £100 and actually good? No, I hadn't either until Donner sent me this thing to check out. Welcome back, dudes, it's great to see you. Jack here, and today I've got something really cool to show you. It's this super cheap T-style electric guitar from Donner, and I am stoked to tell you about it. Recently I've been seeing a lot of good things about Donner on YouTube, and this got me intrigued. So I reached out to them and they kindly sent me this DTC-100 to check out. So, full transparency, I'm not being paid for this review, but I was gifted the guitar, which is really cool of him. And I've been given an affiliate link in case you want to pick one of these up yourself. Also, Donner know that you're going to get my full uncensored opinion on this guitar, and they were actually up for that, which I respect massively. So I'm going to show you everything that I found out about this guitar after playing it for a couple of weeks, and explain one thing that did surprise me massively. Let's get into it. So these guitars retail at just over 100 quid, at about the £112 mark as of filming this video, and that will get you a gig bag. But wait, inside the gig bag there is a strap, a cable, and the guitar itself. Let's get the less interesting stuff out of the way first. The gig bag is perfectly serviceable, seems pretty sturdy, perfect for lugging the guitar about to guitar lessons, band practice, or your grandma's house. The lead is a lead, and it does lead things. The strap's a strap, that does strap things. Right, let's talk about the guitar itself. Taking it out of the bag for the first time was a real surprise. Keep this between me and you, but I fully expected this guitar to be absolute garbage. I've seen my fair share of beginner guitars, and I don't mind saying that they are mostly but this one's built different. I'm built different. What you get is a sturdy, good-looking Telecaster with all the fixtures and fittings that you'd expect to see on one of those. It's equipped with the usual 2 single coil pickups, 3-way selector switch, 1 volume, 1 tone, fixed bridge, massive chunky wood body, maple neck, and a Perilla fingerboard. Does anyone know what Perilla is? Anyway, the setup out of the bag was kind of middle of the road, perfectly serviceable if you're a new player, but I always say to new guitarists and beginners that the best thing you can do when you get a new guitar is go and get it set up professionally. It really does make learning the instrument so much easier because you're not concentrating on how hard the guitar is to play, and you're just concentrating on the stuff that you're learning. So that's exactly what I did. It got a new set of strings and I managed to quite easily bring the action down to my preferred measurements. I always find it's a great way to shake down a new guitar, and I did find a couple of minor things that I want to tell you about. Overall, for the price of the guitar, this thing's impressive. It's built well, there are no big quality control issues. It intonates perfectly well and stays in tune. Even the tuners don't suck, which is a big surprise for a guitar this price. In terms of hardware, there's only one thing that I really don't like, and that's the saddles. I think regular bent steel saddles are the devil anyway, and a great way to just scratch the piss out of your picking hand, and these are no different aside from being budget guitar quality. The frets are an interesting one actually, because in some ways they massively exceeded my expectations, and in others they were exactly what I thought they were going to be. The bad news, or the expected news I guess you could say, is that they're kind of rough and scratchy when you're playing bends and vibrato and stuff like that. Totally normal for a guitar in this price range, and it's not that big a deal. The more you play them, the smoother they'll feel eventually, or you could just take a bit of wire wool and buff the frets up just a little bit. That leads me on to one of the things that I like most about guitars like this. If you're new to guitar maintenance, then something like this is perfect for learning everything you need to know about how guitars work and how they play well. I've worked on and set up guitars for quite a long time now, and even I'd still be a little bit apprehensive about working on something super expensive like a custom shop or something like that. But with a guitar like this that costs next to nothing, you can do whatever you want to it, learn whatever you need to, and just have no fear about busting it. Because 1, you won't, and 2, what does it matter if you do? Like, it's not that expensive really. It's not like something that costs even a few £100 if you broke that. You can use this to learn everything you need to know about maintaining a guitar, and then come out a more skilled craftsperson at the end of it. Also, you're going to have a cool guitar that you worked on yourself and now plays exactly how you want it to. I don't think you can put a price on that, honestly. I do want to mention that there is some messiness down the side of the fretboard. It's not that noticeable really, but it's just where the CNC machine that's been used to make the guitar has cut a little bit deep down the edges, and they've had to sort of backfill it with a bit of filler or glue or something like that. Basically, it just results in you being able to see these lines down the side of the fretboard where the frets are, which actually, if you're a beginner guitar player, that might be kind of helpful in a backwards way. So even though it's messy, you can see where you're putting your fingers in between the frets and know exactly where you are. Would I rather have a tidy fretboard? Yeah, I absolutely would. But does this take anything away from the guitar? Absolutely not. But the amazing news about the fretwork is that they're all perfectly level and the ends feel great. There's nothing stabbing or jabbing your hand like you might get on a cheaper guitar. That's a massive plus in my book, but it does get even better. Now seems like a good time to say thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video, and also for all your support on the last one. That was massive. It blows my mind that it's done so well so quickly, and I've got no idea why, but thank you anyway. If you're enjoying this video or it's helped you so far, then hitting the like button is probably the best way you can help. It lets YouTube know this video is worth your time and then passes it on to other people like yourself. Anyway, I think it's probably time we talked about playability. So this is the big point for me. The playability of this guitar is leaps and bounds above other guitars in its price range, and it all comes down to the neck. The neck on this guitar is really comfortable to play, and it's because of a couple of different features. The finish on this neck is a really nice satin. It's just so smooth, dude. Santana will be proud. What a dumb joke, honestly. But you're welcome. The C profile on the neck is great too. It's not too thick, it's not too thin. It's right where I'd want it to be on a guitar like this. It's like very familiar feeling if you've ever picked up a Fender type instrument. Really comfortable in the hand, and it's easy to fret everything you need to. And another thing, they rounded the fretboard edges, dude. That's so good. Donner have obviously been looking and worked out the little touches to a guitar that they can do to make it feel more premium, but not really impact the cost. Just rounding the fretboard edges ever so slightly makes so much of a difference you wouldn't believe. It's not like painstakingly hand rounded by like black belt luthiers or anything like that. It's obviously just some sort of sanding system they've used to knock the edge off the fretboard, but it's honestly, it makes it so much more comfortable. I'm honestly such a big fan of that choice. Now we're getting on to the mysterious Perilla fingerboard. Perilla, am I saying the same thing? What is Perilla? Well, according to the internet, an edible plant, Perilla is grown in gardens and attracts butterflies. It's aromatic with a strong mint-like smell. Somehow I don't think it can be that, if I'm honest. Now the board doesn't smell like mint. And there's no way I would eat this. What I will say is it's very dark and there's not a lot of grain. If I was to guess, I would say that this is some sort of dyed composite material that's meant to be similar in hardness and look to ebony, which is a good thing in my opinion. Despite sniffing this fingerboard, I'm not some sort of wood snob cork sniffer type of dude or anything like that. If I like a material and it plays well for the cost, then that's the only thing that really matters. And I'm happy to say that I like this a lot. So I do need to let you know that the Telecaster sound is not my favourite sound by any means. But that said, I am having a lot of fun trying to get these pickups to sound as chunky as possible. They're still low output single coils with that twangy sound that you'd expect from a T-style guitar, but actually they are quite capable and I'm having a lot of fun with them. They produce nice ambient cleans, classic crunches, and a surprisingly good lead tone that covers quite a lot of ground, which is great if you're a new player and experimenting, trying to really find the stuff that you like to play. You won't be surprised when I say that this isn't a metal guitar, although you can make it work if you've got a noise gate and the patience to work on your tone enough to find something that's right. But actually, classic rock, pop punk, that's all attainable right away. It also makes for a really good ambient tone machine if you're into jangly cleans and delays and chorus and all that sort of stuff. Does all that really well. Soak this guitar's clean tone with loads of effects and you've got ambience for days. They do lack a bit of clarity and articulation, but they aren't expensive pickups. I think if you're even to pick up a second-hand set of Fender pickups, then it'll probably still be well worth it. Anyway, why don't we have a listen? Let's see what this thing can really do and try out some of those chunky tones I mentioned. So who's this guitar for? On Donner's website, this guitar package is sold specifically as a beginner offering, ready for budding new guitarists to jump into their brand new hobby at like very little cost. What they can't really convey on their website is that such little cost actually gets you a really capable guitar that could stick around with you for years to come. Most beginner guitars are almost expected to be replaced when your ability overtakes it, but this is actually so good that it could stick around in your collection for a long time and still get playtime even years down the line. But this guitar is also for another type of guitarist too. For anyone who's like me and loves a good mod project, this guitar is an incredible starting point. The neck alone makes this an epic option for a guitar to go wild with and put new pickups and hardware and everything else into. If you're into parts casters or just modding guitars in general, then you could do much worse than picking this up as a mod platform. So that's the Donner DTC-100. Now I can actually say I've played a great 100 quid guitar. This guitar blows most of the competition for the same price range out of the water, honestly, just because the playing experience is so good for a guitar that costs 100 quid. If you're looking to get into guitar but don't want to drop hundreds on something that you don't know whether you'll even like, then I think Donner should probably be at the top of your list. In terms of value for money, like, this thing is really up there. If you do fancy trying one out for yourself, then you can use my link in the description. I get a little kickback from that, and it's a nice way for you to start your journey playing guitar or have your new mod projects sent to you and help the channel at the same time. If you do decide to use the link and pick one of these up, then you're awesome, thank you. Now it's time to ask you some questions. Are you thinking about trying a Donner? Maybe you've actually got one already. Leave a comment below letting me know what you think about Donner guitars so that other people can see your experiences too. And also, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them below too so I can come and say hello and try and help you out with them. And if you'd like to see any more Donner guitars on the channel, let me know down there too. If you found any of this useful, then hitting the like button is the best way to help the channel. It lets YouTube know that this video was worth your time, and then it sends it out to other awesome people like you and hopefully spreads the word a little bit about the channel. Thank you again for watching and for all the support lately. It really means a huge amount to me. Until next time, take care mate, stay safe. I'll see you later.